Who'd you vote for today?
I voted for Kamala Harris.
Why is that?
I have 3 daughters, 4 children overall, and women's rights is pretty important to them and my daughters. Sorry, I'm getting a little emotional about that. I didn't think that I was going to do that, but just their bodies, their choice type of a mentality. I want them to grow up in a world that's welcoming to everybody. So yeah, that's why I cast my vote today.
Male Kamala Harris voter starts crying on CNN and says he's voting for Kamala Harris so his daughters can have abortions. Really? Oh man, I don't understand the logic of these people right here. You're trying to protect your daughter, but you're not protecting the life. I mean, hey, it's life is what you make it, right? For me, I'm voting for Trump for the same exact reason. I want my daughter to be able to grow up in a safe space in life to where she don't have to worry about competing with men in women's sports, and she's gonna be taught when this and at an appropriate age to be a responsible woman with her body, and she has all the choices to make the responsible decisions in order to not have to put herself in position to have to take away someone's life. Somebody wrote, he wants a world as welcoming to everybody except for the babies who had no choice about their parents' decision to abort them. Someone also says beta, an alpha male will want to save babies. Michigan allows abortions up to until 24 weeks. And I'm sorry, let me start that one over. Michigan allows abortions up until 24 weeks and will with all exceptions. He is literally casting his vote for his grandchildren to be able to be unalive in the 3rd trimester with no medical reason whatsoever. Yeah, this is the logic right here, man. But we're seeing all of CNN left-wing media just get triggered right now at the fact that they're polling very poor for Kamala Harris right now. But anyhow, it says the math doesn't work. The Democrats are down 1.7 million early votes in the battleground states in urban areas. You can see the math is considered hate speech to those triggered CNN journalists.
The math doesn't work. The Democrats are down 1.7 million early votes in the battleground states. In urban areas, they are down 1.4 million votes in the battleground states. Among women voters, rural voters have overperformed early by 300,000. Democrats have to win their races early. Republicans generally win them on election day. And the margins don't add up right now for the Democrats in any of these battleground states.
Well, they're saying that this election might expose a lot of truth in past elections. I'll just say it like that. Because right now, I don't think that you see in the face, they couldn't say nothing to battle that. The Democrats definitely need to win early in order to feel or to, have a chance at securing everything. Traditionally, like we know, it's usually the Republicans who would win same day or anything, like that, because they usually don't poll as big as we see my guy polling today. Y'all see these ads rolling in the back. I'm sorry, I can't even pause right now. I think that was an anti-Trump ad that came on at first. Anyhow, CNN, again, Harris has run a relentlessly negative and dishonest campaign. She's given no Republican or conservative any reason to vote for her at all. Some thoughts on CNN last night. Scott Jennings.
Yes, here with a handful of hours to go. I mean, she doesn't have to attack Donald Trump, I guess, because she's done it every single day of the campaign since she got into it. It's been a relentlessly negative and relentlessly dishonest campaign. And here at the end, they want credit for trying to be positive and unifying after a week of Republicans are Nazis, Republicans are garbage, Republican women are weak and stupid. So I get it. I understand why they would want to tout this one time that she didn't relentlessly go negative and dishonest against Donald Trump. But to me, the bulk of the campaign is obvious. They are betting all their chips on there's just enough people in the country who hate or are willing to fear Donald Trump to win. That's about all they've got.
So wait,
and I think Kamala Harris has been frightfully vague
so do you
about
think
what
that
she wants to do.
Who's been more negative, Kamala Harris or Donald Trump?
Harris, without question.
Oh, come on, Scott. Every day.
And I personally think it would be dishonest not to acknowledge that the bulk of the attacks that Kamala Harris lodges against Donald Trump range from basically dishonest to absolutely, I can't believe they're getting away with this, dishonest. On policy, on all sorts of things. And I feel like this goes unacknowledged because of how Trump operates. And I fully admit that he says things that get our attention and that sound outrageous
and incredibly
but we don't hold her to the same level of accountability. And the bulk of their campaign against Trump has been she sits on a throne of dishonesty when it comes to his agenda. He did not write Project 2025. He did not put it in a book. He does not hand it out. And that is the bulk of their campaign, and it's ridiculous. What I decided to do in this election was focus on the future. Who do I think would take the country and the government in the basic direction in which I want to go? But most of the time, a government that he would build would probably do most of what I want. And I think none of the time that's true for Harris. She's given Republicans like me, who don't really come from the MAGA wing of the party, absolutely nothing. And just to put a point on what I said earlier, the headline that I woke up to this morning in Axios was "The No Comment Candidate. Harris' strategy clouds how she'd govern. She doesn't want voters to know whether she would stick to her old liberal views or govern with new centrist thinking. I'm a Republican. I'm a conservative. How can I entrust my vote with someone who won't even tell me whether they have a conservative view?"
That is so dishonest.
I read a comment the other day, and it was like, if you want to piss off a conservative, lie. But if you want to piss off a liberal or a Democrat, tell them the truth. And as I'm watching that whole segment, I'm just looking at all of them up there like, no. And he's incredibly. And it's like what Scott is saying is practical. It's like, hey, look, you got Kamala out here doing all this fear mongering. She's attaching him to things that he's not attached to whatsoever, things that he's debunked and said that he's not a part of, like Project 2025. And she's just spewing nothing but lies and misinformation while sitting there trying to point the finger at him like, Trump is the one doing that, and that's not the case. I got to get Scott, I got to hand it to him, man, to be able to sit there and be able to keep his cool around all that. Whew, excellent take, though. But I am actually not surprised that they have not fired this man, for being honest. I mean, I'm actually surprised, my bad. I'm actually very surprised that he's still there and not fired whatsoever. Now, what else do we have floating on in the universe of this whole diabolical CNN meltdown? We have right here. No, that was something that posted a while ago. Let's see what we got next.
Breaking news right now. Remember, I told you a few moments ago the former President Donald Trump was casting a ballot in Palm Beach, Florida. There he is with the former First Lady, Melania Trump, and he's about to speak. Let's watch together.
How are you? Okay. Well, I don't know, the people you mean? Numbers of people? A lot of people. They'll be at the convention center at Mar-a-Lago. We have a lot of people. I've just been very honored to find out that the lines are long, and the conservative lines, the Republican lines, are very long. We got back pretty late last night, and it was an honor. It was a great honor. We had 4 incredible rallies and left Michigan late at night. Many of you were with us. And I hear we're doing very well. We did a great job in that. We brought it back to the states, as you know. I believe in exceptions, as Ronald Reagan did. And we did a great job. We did something that they've wanted to do for 52 years. Yes, please.
Mr. President, you talk about if you win, there are tens of millions of Harris supporters who will be upset. What would your plan be to reach out to those people, bring them in? What would your message be?
Well, it'll be just that. We want to bring everybody in. We want to be very inclusive, and we will be very inclusive. We have a great country, but we have a country that's in trouble. It's in big trouble in many ways, and we have to straighten it out. We have crime is through the roof. We have people pouring through our borders that are not exactly perfect. They come out of prisons. 13,000 people convicted of murder. We don't need this in our country. We have enough difficulty. We don't need that. So I think people saw that. And it just seems that the conservatives are voting very powerfully.
Now, while CNN is having their meltdowns and left-wing media is having their meltdowns, especially after Joe Rogan did his endorsement, Donald Trump, went on a insane campaign run, completing 4 rallies yesterday and waking up today and going to make that vote. Which is why I'm encouraging everybody, please go vote. This was my first time voting ever. Definitely had to cast that ballot for Donald Trump. We got to get our country back because I'm telling you, it's getting vicious. And here we go already. This American just went to go vote after standing in line. The election worker tells her, quote, she says, "Oh, you've already voted," end quote. She takes the tablet, turns it my way, and says, "Voted by mail." That's another quote, by the way. Poll worker says she's not allowed to see who the mail-in ballot was cast for.
My name is Emily, and I want to tell you about what happened to me this morning. I woke up and decided that I was going to go vote. Can't really speak on the election if I didn't vote, so that's how I felt. And when I went to the Episcopal Church in Cape Coral, Florida, I stood in line for about 30 minutes. When I got up to the representative, I handed her my ID. She scans it and says, "Oh, you've already voted." I said, "No, I have not." She said, "Here, let me show you what I'm seeing." She takes the tablet, turns it my way, and it says, "Voted by mail." I said, "I did not vote, nor would I vote by mail." As I don't even believe in voting by mail because I feel like it's easily manipulated and rigged. She turned white. And she said, "Hold on, let me call somebody." She takes this flip phone that I guess is something they've been using for when this happens, because apparently I can't be the first one. She called somebody. I stood there for about 15 minutes and they were able to delete it. After that, they scanned my ID again and said, "Okay, you can go vote now." Meanwhile, I'm standing there, my heart is racing. I feel sick. I just registered to vote about a week and a half ago. So I just don't see how this is even possible. But obviously, we know how it's possible. Things can be intercepted or rigged, for a lack of better words. So if you aren't going out to vote, you should be. I asked the lady, I said, "Well, does it say who I even voted for?" She said no. She's not allowed to see it. And they don't give that access to anybody that works there for the polls. So I'll never know who I voted for by mail. It's just very scary.
Somebody pointed out something, and it was interesting. We get receipts for everything else. Why can't we get a receipt for our vote?